Welcome to another episode of BorderLaughs podcast. It's me, Castro, guys, here on location at the station, guys. This is BorderLaughs podcast. Thanks for coming in, tuning in, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a fucking hot summer, man. I got a special guest with me today, Mr. Ali Musa. Ali Musa. And we're out here on location at the place called The Station.
The gas station.
The gas station. And if you don't know about the gas station, it is a small gas station outside of Austin, Texas, maybe about 20 minutes from downtown. An hour for me. This is a gas station basically where they filmed the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, guys. So I'm going to show you some shots out of what it looks like on the inside. And later on in the show, guys, but I also have a barbecue spot here, man.
We just devoured a lot of barbecue.
We just gave this gas station a beating when it came to eating.
Yeah.
So we were hungry, and so my podcast, I talk about comedy, culture, comida, and that's exactly what we're here for. So welcome my guest, Mr. Ali Musa, who dressed up for the appropriation with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, originally from Arizona, guys. And me and Ali do comedy, obviously. And if you don't know Ali Musa, please, you guys, I don't know what's wrong with her. Please, if you check out Kill Tony, and definitely you're going to see his episodes. He's been a fan favorite, and he's been working his ass off here in Austin, Texas, as a comedian and killing it all over, man. So, it's good.
Thanks to you, you have some of the best shows. Like, Josh produces these shows where, like, it's just in the right, just when I'm feeling like, maybe I'm not that funny. I do some show at some brewery that Josh put together, and I have, like, the set of my life. And I'm like, okay, that's the universe telling me I'm built for this.
Man, that's good to hear, man. I'm glad. Thank you so much. I kind of work hard on those. So. But no, man, Ali's been out here doing the show, doing his thing here, and we've been out here in the comedy scene and doing our thing, man. So welcome to my podcast. It is the BorderLaughs. Usually we're at El Perrito. Shout out to El Perrito. He's been busy, he's been growing up, so I thought I'd take a little break out here and check out another spot where I can talk about comedy, culture, comida. So, based on what we had for lunch today, what is your perception of this barbecue?
I think it's good, and very reasonably priced because, I mean, some places in Austin, it's like if you're trying to eat for two people, you're throwing down $150 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this was like less than half of that. So, and it was good. So, I mean, it's not like Gordon Ramsay's not going to come here and just do chef's kiss or anything. But with that said, it was good.
Yeah, and they tried to warn us at the beginning. There was two employees that came in and said, now, you're going to want to have to be on the lookout for the hot sauce that they give you in the back. One's really hot, and one's really not. And so I said, okay, let's put it to the test. So I get here, and then the second employee who brings out the food, she's all like, here's the hot sauce, and here's the really hot sauce. And I'm like, oh, you may want to dab it on your hand before you taste it. And I'm like, okay. Okay. So I ended up trying it out. Guys, this was a really good hot sauce, but honestly, I'm Mexican. We birth jalapenos. We need a little bit more spicier, to be honest with you. I don't know. What do you think, Ali?
Wasn't hot at all. Like that. I mean, there's a tiny little kick, but it's nothing to warn people about. Like, legitimately, like, Texas Pete level of heat for that, which is the standard $1.50 at Walmart hot sauce. This is probably a little tastier. Like, I would recommend eating this over that. But as far as the heat volume, I give it a 3 out of 10 on the heat scale.
Wow, 3 out of 10. There you go.
But it's like an 8 out of 10 taste, though. It's really good.
It's really tasty. It's sweet. It's got the right thickness for sauce, because I don't like mine too water.
I hate when it's runny.
You know what I mean?
Water.
Yeah, that's kind of like Nashville type, or I don't know what they do, North Carolina type barbecue.
Yeah.
And so they also gave us this one, which was their regular one, which is actually pretty good. It seems like it's a standard one. I don't know if they're...
I don't know which one is hottest. That's the thing. One is coated as a super hot sauce, and the other is the normal. It's like the same amount of heat, which is very little.
Right. So, shout out to this gas station out here doing their thing. I don't know if they just actually open this package up and put it in there, but I know there has to be a little finesse going on with this sauce here. So, not too bad, not too bad. We also got some brisket and sausage. That's pretty much their own staple there. Give it to you regular, like how a Texas barbecue place should be. Shout out to the flies, too, that are fucking right.
Lord of the Flies. That's what I feel like Lord of the Flies right now, because they are, well, like, once we're done eating and we get this thing rolling, the flies are going to go away. No, they have not gone away.
And I purposely sat over here because we're kind of away from everybody and the fans and all this. So hopefully it sounds not too bad, guys. But, hey, we're out here, we're making the best of it. Flies, fans, everything that you can imagine. And it's fucking hot, but...
Oh, yeah.
So one of the cool things, I don't know if you guys can check out behind me. And behind me, also, if you don't mind, you can see they've got little bungalows you can come out here. That way you can actually get murdered and raped, just like, no, I'm just kidding. No, it's actually pretty cool because looks like back there they got a stage. I don't know if you guys can see that in your view, but
Very large stage. It looks like it could fit a really big band, and considering the popularity of this place, not today. I think it's better than 200 people sitting on, but you can tell they've had live music there for sure.
oh yeah, oh
No.
yeah.
Do the pitch to horror comedy show.
Let's do it. Might as well. I'm going to show you. You guys look at my other links. But also, inside the store is this whole memorabilia of just horror stuff.
I got a shirt too.
We got shirts. I got one for my wife here for Scream. That was pretty cool too. And then I got my my Michael Myers tarot card. So that was pretty cool.
Have fun with chainsaw.
I was going to get that one. Me and Ollie trying to up each other on shirts here. And
So we talked. I was live on YouTube before this, and not to brag, but I'm known as like a t-shirt guy. I'm not the funniest comedian in the world. I'm not the best looking. I don't have the most fame, but I'm the fucking t-shirt comic. Everyone walks up to me like, bro, your t-shirt game is unmatched. You got drip on lock all day, and then here comes Josh Castro's ass with a better shirt than me at least half the time.
oh man,
It's a dick measuring contest with horror movie t-shirts.
this is what I got. I got a compliment on this one today from the guy that came in.
Yeah, I walk into the text. He's probably still bored with this, so he's like, everyone has a leather. You know what? I've seen that shirt 20 times this year. So I'm like, whatever, bro.
But no, it's cool. It's cool. I didn't realize Ali was such a horror fan as much as I was. So we ended up talking a lot about horror, which leads us to where we're at right now to do this podcast. Man, we're just such horror fans. I love Halloween. I love the whole vibe. That's just like I've always kind of liked that stuff. And me being a fan, I was like, oh, I could recognize other fans too. So I was been cool about that, man. And we have this little shirt thing going on. So this is the one I got here. It was Michael Myers. I thought this was different, unique. So we'll see. I don't know.
I have like 10 Michael Myers shirts. So
Yeah.
I need to cool my tits on Michael Myers. This is my only Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have to get another one. If I'm here, I have to get a TC.
You know what? I didn't even realize. I didn't even get one. Maybe I should get one. Well, I had to think of my life too, so I'm gonna have to come back with her so we can get Chainsaw Massacre shirts because that's one genre I don't really have. I have a lot of different ones, but one that I saw in there too that like they had a lot of Obey shirts too.
Yeah, they had a lot of They Live.
Yeah, they did. There you go. Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. And I fucking walking in there with my fucking t-shirt and my fucking Fred Durst hat. It looked like a Mexican Fred Durst. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, man. So what got you into horror? What got you?
I don't know because I just loved it as a child.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some psychological moments that happened where if you went down, if I sat down with a therapist, they'd be like, oh, the reason you like horror is because your father said this to you or you witnessed this tragic event. I don't know. I've always liked it. And to the point where some movies did scare me. Like, for some reason, The Exorcist fucked me up when I was really young.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I was fine with it. But, so, Freddy Krueger is my favorite. And most people that watch Nightmare on Elm Street, they're scared of it. The appeal is it's scary.
Right.
I treated it like he was a superhero.
Yeah.
I was like, I like the Nightmare on Elm Street the way people like Batman. But I don't know if that's a healthy state of mind. But I would just, like, watch Freddy Krueger because I thought he was cool, not because he was scary.
I always had this taboo thing about my family. My mom was really religious. So she was like, that's not of the Lord. You shouldn't be watching that. You know, I'd be literally watching it next to her, and she would see, like, she would put the hands over my eyes, like, you shouldn't be watching that. And I was like, no, that even freaked me more.
Yeah.
And so I think I ended up getting a little bit too deeper than I wanted to when I was young. And I started watching scary movies at a very young age, but what really got me into it was Ghostbusters.
Oh, I love Ghostbusters too.
Ghostbusters was one of the movies that really kind of got me interested into like the paranormal and kind of thinking outside the box that maybe there could be some type of afterlife, but it introduced me into that realm of darkness per se.
The craziest thing about that movie was I watched it all the time as a child. Like, loved it. One of my favorite, if not my favorite movie from ages like fucking 4 to like 13 years old. Ghostbusters was my jam. It took me until I was about 14 to realize that Dan Aykroyd was getting head from a ghost. There's a scene where he's in bed in like a hotel or what, and then the blanket goes down, and his eyes cross, and he's... But then he says that actually happened to him.
Yes.
That really happened.
In an interview, that actually happened to him. And
or he says it does. But I mean, who knows? But I didn't know that was what was happening until I was like a teenager.
Well, I kind of got it when they zipped the zipper down, but obviously they never like went in deep. So it was kind of like more of a funny situation to me because I was thinking more like cartoonish.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, that's silly. You know, like I didn't think about like, okay, the belt comes off. Like, I didn't think about like you know, oh man, maybe he's getting something sexual. It never occurred to me that was like a sexual act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was,
no idea.
And we're watching this with kids, and we're like, yeah, it's sweet. And that was kind of the first movie that introduced me to kind of like the horror and kind of got me into.
Did you like part 2?
Part 2, I wasn't a fan of as much as I was with part 1, but I enjoyed it.
So, weird thing with me is I saw part 2 before I saw part 1, and I became obsessed with both of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like that happens. Like same thing with Halloween. I saw Halloween 4 before I saw the first Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's just like I have this weird perception of Michael Myers.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with one of the horror movies. I saw Jason Voorhees. I think I saw part 7 first. Where
7 is the one where it's like him and Carrie basically.
Yeah.
The telekinetic chick.
No. I'm sorry. Part 3. It might have been
Okay.
part 3 or
Part
part.
3 is when he first gets the hockey mask.
Yeah.
That's the 3D one.
I think so. It's the one where he slams the girl in the body bag. I can't remember what part that
That
was.
might have been Jason Lives. It might have been part 6.
Might be part 6. Either way, I got introduced to those type of slasher horror movies. I got introduced to those two sporadically. And like I saw Freddy Krueger part 3 first before I saw part 1.
A lot of people like that one the most.
And that was part 3 and part 4 and part 5 have always been my favorite Freddy Kruegers. I don't know why.
Part 5 is the Dream Child one.
Yeah.
Which is not a good movie, but it's still pretty. So I literally enjoy a lot of bad movies. Where it's objectively not a good film.
Right.
But it has its appeal and its nostalgia, so I was like, I fuck with it heavy. Like, I can tell this is not a good movie, but I love it.
Yeah.
You know?
And so exactly. And a lot of the movies I'm going to name right now, when I ask you this question, a lot of people are not going to know the names that I named, probably, unless you're a real fan. But, off the top, because there's so many, I don't want to go through a lot. But your top 5 horror movies. What are they?
Top 5 horror movies.
Top 5.
So, I don't know if I have a set in stone top 5. It shifts and changes.
You gotta do that.
I'm going to say A Nightmare on Elm Street just because I think Freddy Krueger's the Michael Jordan of horror films. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, you're right.
the most original. I mean, even like so Michael Myers and slashers. Yeah, he kind of started the slasher trend, but he didn't start slashing. But Freddy Krueger was the first dream demon with a personality behind it. So I put Nightmare on Elm Street part. The first one is number one, even though I like the third one a little bit more because Freddy Krueger becomes himself.
Yeah.
Like he has to act. He's not like dark. He has humor.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I really like The Thing. John Carpenter's, I think it's his best movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, they don't have to necessarily be movies. You can also just kind of like exact movies.
yeah.
I'm more like top 5 your favorite overall.
And then I'm going Night of the Living Dead just because I love zombies so much that you got to take the importance and the impact of the movie. There's better zombie movies probably than Night of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead might be a better movie, but it basically invented zombies in the way that horror came to accept zombies. You know?
Yeah.
Flesh-eating, slow-walking corpses. George Romero basically invented that exact style. So I'll say Night of the Living Dead. I'm tempted to put Halloween in just because it's such a big part of my childhood. And John Carpenter is my favorite filmmaker.
Yeah.
So fuck it, he deserves to go in the top 5. I'll say Halloween.
There you go.
And then what is 5? Just to throw a fucking weird one out there, well, people will go, what the fuck are you talking about? Hereditary. I fucking love, just to be weird, because I feel like Hereditary is the best horror film I've watched.
It is.
Post 2000.
Right.
It's the last 20-something years, it's my favorite horror movie.
I tend to agree with that. The most some of the most up to date horror
Right.
movies.
It's probably not necessarily the fifth best horror film that I've ever watched or enjoyed, but in this weird top 5 that I'm doing, it's my favorite recent horror film, so I think it deserves to be mentioned, and I'll put it at 5. Fuck it.
There you go. All right, top 5. I think we can agree with that. I don't know. We'll see what the fans say.
Right.
Plus, it's only 5, so
Yeah.
you got to do the best of the best. I think my top 5 will definitely be, I like I said, starting it would be Friday the 13th would be one of my favorite. Well, it's just genre in general. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I can spit it down to specific. I just love the character of Jason.
Right.
It's kind of ridiculous. It's almost, I think it's weird towards Michael Myers. But,
Well, yeah, they kind of capitalized off of his.
You know what I mean?
And then went way further with it.
Exactly.
By the time they got to part 2, they were already on like part 4.
So I didn't pay attention much to Michael Myers as I did Friday the 13th because I kind of saw them as equals.
Yeah.
But even though they're so dynamic in their characters, I like the story of Michael Myers because it deals with a lot of mental health issues. And it kind of brings that into the realm of horror, which I really like, psychological horrors. So there's so many things I can break down with those 2 characters, but those 2 are my top all time. And of course, it's going to be Freddy. But I don't think I got into it as much as I did when I was younger, as I did when I got older.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold out Freddy for my top 5. But just definitely Friday the 13th and Michael Myers, top 2. And then I know you mentioned Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Well, what did it for me growing up in the 80s was Return of the Living Dead, guys. And this is the return and one of my favorite movies that capitalized in the 80s because it mixtured a lot of humor.
It was mostly,
To me, it was very funny. And the fact that zombies could talk after you try to kill them was the most hysterical thing to me. One part that sticks out of my head every time where the zombie's head falls off and they're trying to get it. They're trying to get it out of the house. They stick a screwdriver in it, and the zombie said, "Get that damn screwdriver out of my head."
I think that's from the second one.
Yeah. I think this is the second one. That's why it's a little return.
Well, no,
It was a part 4. I think it was part 4.
So there's the original Dead trilogy.
Right.
Night, Dawn, Day, and then Return of the Living Dead is its own movie, but it actually acknowledges Night of the Living Dead being based on a true story. So at the beginning of the movie, it talks about, have you ever seen the movie Night of the Living Dead? That's based on a true story. So it's saying that in the universe of Return of the Living Dead, the Dead trilogy is fake. It's a movie.
Yeah.
But they're saying no, it's actually real.
Right.
So then there was Return of the Living Dead Part 2 as well, and then Part 3, and then years later they made a bunch of bullshit sequels.
And I think I caught it right there where I thought it was
A
part
lot of people
4.
do think that it's a sequel, but it's its own movie.
Right.
Because it's Return, so it's just like that. Return in a subtitle of a film is always like a sequel, but it's
Right.
not.
Yeah, and I know it's not based on this one, but it's a different one. This is the first one that I saw, but the one that stuck out to me
That
was,
was Part 2.
yeah, definitely one of my favorite ones to watch growing up, and I just thought it was hilarious. They made comedy out of it, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a ridiculous movie. Who would think that this is, and at the same time, it came out at the same time that Michael Jackson's Thriller came out. And he came out with I was like, the whole fucking zombie genre at the time was so fascinating to me at that time that it really propelled my interest in more horror shit.
Yeah.
And so another one that I wanted to mention was Michael Myers and The Return of the Living Dead. Another one that a lot of people don't probably is not on their radar, but it is one of my favorite ones that actually legit scared the fuck out of me when I was growing up, and it goes back to John Carpenter's, what was the name of the movie? Oh my goodness. I just lost my fucking train of thought. Oh, Prince of Darkness.
Oh, Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness.
I love that movie. Alice Cooper is in it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China are in it, because it was the following year after Big Trouble in Little China.
Exactly, and that was one of my favorites.
I know a part scared you was the woman who, like, her head falls off and shit.
No, the part,
The bloody-faced woman at the end.
no, the part that scared the fuck out of me, which made me go to my grandma to ask her to pray for me, was when the concept of a gateway to hell.
Yeah, there's that mirror.
The mirror and the that part where I saw the devil and I was like, oh my god, that shit! I couldn't look at mirrors for the longest, and especially in the dark, bro. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I walk to the restroom and I glance in the mirror and I'm like, oh shit! I just run back to my bed, bro. That was one movie, and actually I was not supposed to see it at the time because it's actually I think I saw it when my sister had a sleepover. And she brought a bunch of her teenage friends at the time. They're like, hey, we're going to watch a scary movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want to be a part of it too. And they're like, no, it's too scary for you. And I was like, pish posh. And sure enough, the movie was fucking scary for me. And they started counting on me. Oh, he can't take it. I was like, fuck no, that shit was scary. So that one. And I'm going to go ahead and actually include, and might get some hate for this, now that you mentioned like the more modern ones, Insidious, the whole kind of series.
Yeah, the first one, for sure. I always get Insidious and The Conjuring mixed up.
Yeah.
Because the main guy is in both of them.
Right.
And they came out around the same time, the same stylistic feel.
Yeah.
So, and they all have a bunch of sequels, so I'd always get them fucking confused.
And I also like the original concept of it.
That one deserves to be. That's in the upper of the newer films, for sure.
Right. So that's kind of where I kind of categorize a lot of mine, because I really like more of the paranormal and like the whole question of spirituality. All of that stuff is so interesting to me, growing up.
Honorable mentions, if we're going to go recent, Sinister.
Yeah, Sinister.
There actually did some tests, I don't know how accurate this is. They said Sinister is the scariest movie of all time based on science. So they did this. I mean, it was a group study, but they had, like, I think hundreds of people all watch, like, classic horror films and put a heart monitor on them. And based on a heart rate with hundreds of people in this case study, Sinister is the scariest movie of all time. So, I mean, I'm not saying that, but their study, that was the conclusion.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. I never saw that.
Right. Also, other honorable mention is Hellraiser.
Yes.
Yes, dude, that
we have to give Hellraiser up there.
Pinhead is one. So I always rank horror villains the same way I rank all-time NBA basketball players. I was like, who is Pinhead? He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Magic Johnson. He's not Will Chamberlain. He's not even LeBron. I mean,
he's a sixth man off the bench.
Is he Dirk Nowitzki? Is he Tim Duncan? Is he Charles Barkley? He's like top 15. Like, I mean, in horror he's higher, but I'm saying when it comes to basketball players, I always do this.
Clyde Drexler, that's where
Same thing with like Candyman.
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Todd, I'm just like, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not top 10 all time.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And I'm thinking more very broad.
He's like a Dwayne Wade or something, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think very more broad on that shit too. So it's like there's so much out there. It's hard to pinpoint, and you're gonna get chastised every time. I think we have a couple friends a while back. We tried to do like a bracket for the best hip hop thing.
Yeah.
And we just fell off. We got to so many arguments, you know.
Right.
And it's the same thing with horror, man. It's like, you gotta do the top 10, but everybody's gonna be like, no, I disagree. Like, they're gonna have their points of why you disagree.
It's like politics.
Yeah. I love it though, man. It's a cool, fun politics, though, because it doesn't matter. But if you're a fan of horror, you're definitely gonna have some type of opinion. So that's pretty cool.
100%.
One of the things that, I don't know if you guys are horror fans like me and Ali, but one of the things we did before we even got to the gas station, all down the street from where I live, there's actually a scene that was shot. Excuse me. A scene that was shot at a cemetery down the street from where I live, from the actual Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And it's a very old cemetery that has one plot in particular.
Some of the gravestones and tombstones we saw were from the 1800s. So the one he's talking about is this real. It's almost like a pillar. It's like there's like a block, and then there's a shorter, like pole-like pillar that goes up, and it says C.C. Mason, I think it was.
And it's kind of broken on the top.
It looks like there used to be something at the top. It might have been some kind of, I don't know, but it looks like it was broken off. But it says he was born in 1818, died 1865. So I was doing the math. I was like, that means that thing is 159 years old.
Dude, yeah, that is so old. I didn't even realize that cemetery had been there that long. But shout out to C.C. Mason, man. He made history, horror history. So.
Maybe he does know. We're talking about, is there an afterlife? Is there any type of consciousness after you die? Maybe he's proud of himself. I don't know.
Well, that's crazy, man. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. So I'm gonna add that to my to the podcast here, guys.
Yeah,
and take some shots. Yeah, I got some footage on there, guys. We'll definitely add that in there. So this has been a very special episode, guys. And we can actually talk about a lot of great things we like. And we ended up eating some good barbecue and going out to getting some souvenirs from the gas station, guys. So come out and check this out if you ever have some time to burn out here outside of Austin. This is a little fun spot to check out. So guys, but also at the same time, we're going to talk about comedy. This is awesome. But I want to talk about also too how have you adapted to the scene so far? You've been in the scene for how long now?
Since November of 2021. So I know that's what, 2 years, 8 months. So I say 2.5 years. You know, it's closer to that than it is 3 years.
Yeah.
But as crazy as it sounds, I'm almost like tenured in the scene compared to most. So Austin, the influx of comedians is so astronomically high that you're getting like 10 comedians a week, every week, nonstop moving for Austin. So I'm just like, out of the average comic has been in Austin maybe 6 months to a year. So it's like I've been here 2.5. So I mean, the influx is insane. You know?
And
I was here a year and a half before the mothership even opened.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen Ali. I think I met you around that time.
I know where I met you.
Oh,
I met you at the tiniest bar in Texas, circa like early 2022.
Okay.
And we didn't do it on the stage. We did it in like the patio area. You know, like near the bar area.
Yeah.
We did it like it was me, you, Courtney, Danielle.
Was it raining?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Danielle was there. Daniela.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I met you.
That's crazy, man. Shout out to Courtney running Tiniest Bar, guys. But no, that's great, man. I got comedy culture from Comida, and I always like to introduce new comics to out here, guys. Because he's coming from Arizona. He has a different perspective on how the comedy game is down here. He's a Kill almost a Kill Tony. And
5 times been on it.
yeah, so it's fun, man. It's really great to get a good perspective. And knowing that me being in the scene around here, him coming in and having that attitude towards Austin really makes me feel proud to be part of the scene, man, because it really shows how cool of a scene it is, regardless of how much people talk shit about it. But it does have its perks, so.
100%. I mean, a lot is happening. That's what's really important. Is that there's tons of stage time. Just last night on 6th Street, literally, I counted. There was like 10 shows congruently happening, which is wild to think about.
Yeah.
I was just like, the show I'm on, next door, across the street,
Yep.
Vulcan, Velveeta, Mothership, Creek, Roscoe's, Black Rabbit, Sunset. And these are all happening at the same time. So it's like maybe a little oversaturated, but that's what happens when comedy is popping and blowing up.
Yeah, you heard it. About 7 clubs, 10 clubs on one given night.
And this is all within walking distance, by the way.
Yeah.
Because then there's East Austin and Cap City, which is in its own part of the city.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's comedy like crazy right now.
But there it is, guys. So I wanted to, and if people wanted to check out Ali Musa, where can they find you online?
Find me on Instagram, Ali Musa. Find me on YouTube. I'm trying to grow my YouTube right now. Just type in Ali Musa. It's like ALI, last name Musa, MUSA. Or type in Ali USA 86. I also have the Ali USA podcast.
Awesome, guys. And that's where you heard it first here about a BorderLaughs podcast, guys. Guys, if you like Ali, if you like our little episode here, please like, subscribe, check out my contact. Also, check out Ali's contact. He's going to do another form of his podcast here. I think he's got a pretty cool perspective as well, guys. So if you like my stuff, check out Ali's as well, guys. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, check out our other episodes coming out in the future, guys. So, in the meantime, thanks a lot, Ali. Appreciate it, man. Have a great night, guys. This has been another episode of BorderLaughs Podcast. I watch it.